What's going on, everybody? Well, Happy New Year and welcome back to the third take. As always, I'm your host, John Chapman III, and I'm joined here with Miss Tkiia.
Hello. Happy
Yeah.
New Year.
Oh my God, it's been a minute since we've actually done an
Mhm.
episode. Dang, it's crazy work. Ever since my last episode, everybody been like, "You good, bro? You good?" I'm like, "I'm good. I
It's
got
the
I had the
holidays.
holidays, and also I have work. It's
Yep.
like I have work. I have responsibility. So, but anyways, is there anything I got any updates?
Updates.
Well, we had a good Christmas. We had a
Oh,
good
yeah.
fun Christmas. So we went to see your family, then we went to go see mine.
Mhm.
We had a good New Year. Um, yeah, and then it's just been back to work. And if for those who don't really know, like healthcare back, like beginning of the year is like the most stressful time because
Absolutely.
literally you're getting a whole new set of guidelines from insurances. You're also dealing with patients. Yeah, this is
New
where
and old.
new and old, and then sometimes the old ain't good, and the new ones ain't good, and sometimes the old ones and the new ones and the old ones, and don't forget the old ones.
Crazy.
And so, yeah, life has been a little crazy, stressful, a little stressful. So, don't be surprised if maybe a week we don't have an episode because, like, low key, it is stressful out here in these streets. But today, the main topic is how to stop comparing yourself to everyone else. Now, me and Takaya, we had these little conversations like when we like in the car or when we are sitting around and we be talking. We were like, oh, we should make this as an episode. I was like, I bet. As soon as I got the podcast, let me let me just make it. But before I get into you. When I told you I want to talk about comparison, what was your first reaction?
Oof.
Not oof.
It was oof. It's something that I know if you listen to the past episode, you know kind of like what I've dealt with, and I know you know what I've dealt with.
Mhm.
But for those listening, I was constantly compared, and that's over 9+ years of being compared. Um And I would even say to go as far as just it's something that we all deal with, but you don't really like start putting a magnifying glass on it until you start to do like your own self reflection to try to get out of the mindset of actually comparing. Um, but I can dwell a little bit more on that
Later on.
later on.
Later on. All right. All right. So for our first segment, basically, I think one thing for comparison that is very natural. It's
Mhm.
like it's very because as human beings we always have that wired like mentality to like compare ourselves to the others because it's kind of like when you're playing sports you're being compared to your peers, so it's like you
Exactly.
got first place, second, and third, so you have to compare yourself and be like, am I better than them or if I'm better than them? But when it comes to social media, do you think comparison is something people have always dealt with, or do you think that social media made it worse?
I would say both. I think it's something that we've always dealt with um, in general, just as human beings. We always dealt with it, but social media definitely just like put gasoline over a fire that was already burning.
Nah, for real. It's like when it does that, it's like it can be very helpful because it kind of like can motivate you to a certain extent, but I think the overexposure of it can really lead to you being like, dang, I wish I was like them, or dang,
Mhm.
I was like this person, or it's not New Year's resolutions now
Right.
going wild. So it's a lot of people that are gonna be like, hey, we got to get these in because I've seen somebody else do it, instead of just
Mhm.
having that mentality to be like,
I'm doing it for
I'm
myself.
doing it for myself. But some people get that from the motivation of social media, but then there's that overexposure because you know how feeds are. Is once you see
Mhm.
one thing,
You see it a
you see it
million
million
times.
times. So I think that's something that social media does to make comparison worse. Um, do you think seeing everyone's wins is constantly changing how we view ourselves or how you view yourself?
I I would say yes and no. Because seeing other people win can also motivate you. It's like they done it. So it's
Hmm.
just like I know that I could probably do it too. Like
Right.
somebody else done it and I can do it too. But a lot of things, especially pertaining to social media, when you look at social media or you see anything that's on social media, that is a finished product. That is what somebody has cut, cropped, pasted, and posted and basically structured together what they want people to see.
Hmm.
That's not the entire process
Right.
itself. And I feel like that's where a lot of people start that's where it starts conflicting. That's where the negative side of like social media starts to come in. You see this finished product and you're just like, dang, I want that. But nobody talks about what it actually takes to get said that. And then in the same breath, there's multiple ways to like kill it. I don't know like the terminology I'm trying to use, but there's multiple ways to
Kill two
get
birds with one stone.
yeah, you said multiple ways to get to the same goal. So
Right.
just because this is the outcome and then this person did it this way doesn't mean that you can't do it one way the same way or another way and still get that same
Right.
outcome. So
Right. I think when it comes to seeing people constantly win, it's like for me, I'd be like, oh, I'm happy for him because he can actually do it, and that's something that's like it's beneficial for society when it comes to people like public figures, or
mhm,
when it comes to like boxers like my boy Anthony Joshua. That bruh
mhm,
went in and he knocked out Jake Paul, and I was happy. But then you heard the accident that happened, and it was just like, dang. And one thing my mom always told me is, you never know how somebody got to where they at and what they got to do to stay where they are. And I
mhm,
think that's what like you were saying, social media kind of takes that away because you don't see that effort, you don't see that struggle, you don't see the failures behind
mhm,
the wins. Because maybe, especially like is especially around final season, there was a lot of
mhm.
people posting like, "Hey, I got a 4.0, but you don't know what that person had to do with a 4.0. Maybe
Right.
that
You
person
don't know
had
that
to
I was on academic
right. You
probation
don't know. You don't
at
know
the
that
beginning.
right. You don't know that. Oh, my GPA dropped to like a three. I mean,
mhm.
or to like a two something, and I was on the brink of being let go by the school. So a lot of people, you don't really see that when you see it on social media. What areas do you find yourself personally comparing the most?
Mm.
Whether it be like career, work, relationships, money and appearance, something like that. Just in one of those aspects of life do you find yourself comparing the most? If you do.
Now, really not at all,
Oh,
which is a blessing.
that's good. That's actually really good.
Yeah, now not at all. In the past, constantly. I was comparing myself to women of different races, women of my own race, um, different body types, different just anything anybody that wasn't me because I was always felt or made to feel like I was a problem. It was something wrong with me.
Mm,
So it was always, what am I doing that is not that everybody else seems to be doing
right.
correctly? Um, Even so much so to a point like we would go out to places and we would see these couples doing couple things and then he would get angry while we were out. And then like once we're out and he's upset, like the whole like we might as well go home. The whole vibe is off. The whole group is
Right.
just like, okay, we need to go. But he would pull me to the side and be like, "Dang, I wish that could be us."
Crazy work.
And it's just like, it can be. You just need to
Do your part.
do your part, like
Right.
fix your mindsets, fix
Right.
how you are looking
Having a
at
he had a
me.
fixed mindset. That's what it was. He had a fixed
So,
mindset. I think
yeah, definitely not now at all.
I think for me it's honestly the same because like it's like how do I put it without being harsh? Well, it's my podcast. I can be
Mhm.
harsh. It's really just like to the point like I can't really compare myself to people because like, again, that's that mentality that my mom always told me like you don't know what
You
that
don't
person
know
did
what
to get
had
there.
to get there,
And for
right?
me it's like I'm happy that that person got the achievement, but I really don't care in comparison to me because I know what I'm doing and I know
Right.
what I'm
I got my own
doing. I got my
goals.
own goals. I got my own things that I'm trying to like fix up. Like for school, I'm trying to get into a new school. I'm trying to get into psychology. I'm trying to get
Mhm.
PsyD, whatever. But I can't be like comparing myself to people who have it because it's like I can't. What
You
is
don't
the
know what
what
they
is the
did to get there,
comparison? No,
right?
yeah, exactly. And like, what is the comparison in anyway? Because they have it, I don't.
Mhm.
what am I trying to compare? It'd be different if I'm comparing like a car or something, but
Mhm.
you're comparing yourself to a whole other person. You
Person.
don't know what that person had experienced. You don't know what type of stuff that person had to go through. Man, I feel like social media really needs its own
It
episode
is.
about
Social
how does it
media is
affect mental health. It probably should be. Probably should
stay
be.
tuned.
Right. Stay tuned. Probably stay tuned. Like and subscribe, please. Subscribe,
Oh my
please. I'm just
god.
playing. I'm just playing. As well on the topic of social media, as a woman, do you feel like social media affects self image and confidence differently, or do you think it kind of goes hand in hand when it comes to those two?
I'm gonna say yes. It definitely does. Especially, I feel like more so now. It has gotten severely better. Severely, there's a lot of body positivity going on, and it's changed the way that people actually see um, curvier or plus size women. It used to be at one point you would see the same figured woman every every time you looked at anything on
Hmm.
social media or in a on a magazine. It was always the same. It was never any kind of variety. And then once there did start to become variety, was a lot of pushback. It's like people were trying to push this narrative that, okay, you being curvier means that you're unhealthy. You can be the most full figured woman on the planet and have better blood work than somebody who
Right.
is a CoverGirl magazine
Hmm.
model. Like you don't know, like that comparison in itself, this plus
Right.
size woman could be that working at Walmart can be healthier than a woman that's literally getting paid millions of dollars to
Right.
be on the cover of a
And a
magazine.
lot
And you don't know.
of right, and a lot of them, like, especially from what I've learned is that a lot of those people is even not just models in general, but just people in general, people who are in those type of fields ends up having like disorders
Mhm,
where they eat and then they just can't they force themselves to actually throw up because
mhm,
they're trying to keep that image, which is insane. But it's like if it puts bread on the table, it's like anybody's willing to do anything
right.
to do it. And that's again, you don't see that
You
part,
don't see that. You see the
but
picture
you
on the
see the picture
magazine.
on the magazine. You don't see it in fine print. Trust me, I be looking at the fine print. I look in fine print everything. I can't find anything about that type of stuff. Was there ever a moment when you're scrolling through social media that made you question your worth or body or your progress in general?
Yes, simply because there were points in time where I was actually compared and told, if you don't like me liking what I see on social media, then you need to be that.
Mm,
So it got to a point.
that's a backhand slap. That's a backhand.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, I'm a like this somebody that's literally not even the same race as me, probably half my size,
Right.
with no clothes on, essentially. It's like, if you don't like me liking that, then you should look like that.
Crazy work.
So it's just like,
Doom scrolling. That's what it was. It was like doom scrolling on his end, but it was pushed on you.
mhm,
That type of message that make that self doubt. I think for me, especially as a guy, um, I think there's not much comparison. I mean, there is always comparison when it comes to strength. That's the first one. That's always there. It's always who's the strongest, who's the alpha male of our
mhm,
species, which I always say is Brock Lesnar, by the way.
yeah.
But that dude literally exists. Like if aliens come down, I'm putting Brock Lesnar on the front line, and I'm gonna tell the aliens, this is our best fighter. Y'all get your best fighter. Um, but anyways. I think when it comes to strength, that's definitely a big thing. And like sometimes they'll kind of show, especially when it comes to guys, I think we're more in showing the like kind of some of the progress, but I think it's still selective because you're showing the best one. It's
Mhm.
like you're showing like that best rep. Like I was able to get one rep of like 200 pounds, but you can't do that consistently.
Right,
And
you
when it
didn't show
comes
how I had to start at 50.
right. You didn't show that. And I think it's also the fact that when people show that they really can't live it. They only show it
Mhm.
one time, be like, I did it this one time. Like, hey, if that's your max, that's your max. Say it's your max, but
Right.
don't say
Don't be like, "Yeah, I can do this 6
right,
more
right. I could
times."
do it 6 more times, and you really can't,
Mhm.
because when it comes to working out, it's not about how much you can lift; it's about how many times you can lift one different weight, and that's where real strength comes into. And me personally, and but especially, I think nowadays it's starting to get a little it's starting to get a little better in terms of like actually showing mental strength and not
Mhm.
showing
Physical.
just physical, like, oh, I'm strong, but like you're also like seeing people like this podcast, for instance,
Mhm.
like just like podcasts are out and they're just having like the little clips and whatnot of, hey, this is what I was talking about when it comes to men's strength,
Mhm.
and like I don't know if we're honestly going to get to that point of having shorts, but because editing is already hassle.
Right.
But
It's okay.
but like I said, if we get there, we get there. But I think when it comes to social media, especially for me, I think probably at a lowest time was probably, ooh, I think it probably was the mental strength, because it was just like I was seeing these people like um being able to overcome something
Mhm.
so easy. But again, you just don't know how people got there, because like, but I'll take Anthony Joshua for example. Like literally, he was supposed to be in the front seat, but he moved to the back seat because they told him it wouldn't, it would be better like leg room for him because he's so tall. And like that accident happened. Like, nah, he's got to live with that. He's got to
Mhm.
live that his friends were killed instantly in a accident, and it was a driver who wasn't even didn't have a license. It's like you have to live with that. And now whenever he actually gets over that, or not even just get over it, because you're not, because I don't
I
think
don't think you get
you
over
you can
that
get over that.
really.
But once you're able to actually deal with it and manage it with it
Mhm.
on a day-to-day basis, I think it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be a different, you're gonna see a different side of him. Being
Mhm.
You don't really see that side when it comes to celebrities, and you don't see that really side when it comes to people in general, because not only just celebrities, but it's just, normal people are posting, like, especially those little TikTok things where they be like, a day with me or something like
It's
that, or
not,
it's not
yeah,
really a day with that person.
because
But
it's cut, it's
right,
pasted.
it's cut
If
and
you
pasted.
if you wanna spend the day with somebody, live stream,
Right.
and this
Be like Speed,
right.
be like Speed, which I actually commend him on, because
I will
he actually
say
goes crazy with
I
it.
will definitely say there has been like a really big shift in social media though. I know there's a lot of negatives, but there are a lot of positives as well.
Mm,
And I really do think that it happened within the last like 2 years or so, where it's been like a drastic shift in it just not being this flashiness. It was like, look at me, I did this.
right,
You want to look like me, you want to be like me, blah blah
right.
blah. It's
You
just
got the
it's
Andrew Tates and all them people.
right. You have people actually like not even just influencers. You have people like regular everyday people actually showing you the process, like being
Right,
vulnerable, being honest, being truthful about their actual what they're actually dealing with, and opening that door for other people to actually be able to reach out and relate to one another.
right. Because that's how social media. That's the intention of what social media is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a platform where people can go and you can form an online communities, or you can form communities and meet new people, all that type of stuff. But it's like the toxic side almost outweighs what the actual intention of social media is.
Mhm.
And I think now finally it's starting to go down a little bit. It's not going down all the way, but
Mm. Like it's
it's
still
like
there, definitely.
it's still, it's just it's more, it's starting to get to that point where it's a little bit more good outweighs the bad. But
Mhm.
I think that just grows with time, especially with AI now. Now it's just AI videos everywhere, so it's kind of like hard for people to be hard on people when you're seeing Martin Luther King
Got a grill.
doing a grill or something like that, or Michael Jackson in a limo saying bless. Like, what? But I think, yeah, I think social media is just completely evolving when it comes to that. But like, even just from comparison on social media, but like even just from the emotional impact, I think comparison doesn't just like really stay in your head. It messes with how you move like in life. It makes you be like, oh man, I need to live this certain way because if I don't, I'm never gonna be like this person, or I'm never gonna be like that. And as always, my main thing is, see, that's why I'm so glad I'm a wrestling fan, because a lot of times you hear that same mentality is said by a lot of people, but you hear like the John Cena's, or even the Seth Rollins,
Mhm.
even like them, or like the CM Punks, they're like, I don't want to be the next Rock or Stone Cold.
They wanna be their
I want to be
own.
the first me.
Mhm.
And it's like that's a real mentality to have, of
Mhm.
being like, I don't want to be like, or you don't have to be like, oh, I want to be like Michael Jordan. You can be like, I don't want to be like my dad, or I don't want to be like my mom. I want to be like me.
Mhm.
I want to be me. I don't want to be like my best friend. I don't want to be like that. I want to be like me. And that kind of eliminates the comparison, because you're comparing yourself to yourself, being like, I want, what do I look like? And I think
Mhm.
that's a good mentality to have. But what do you think comparison steals from people emotionally?
I would say, honestly, everything, because it changes your overall mentality and outlook on yourself, so it changes how you look at life in general and how you operate in life in general. Um, yeah, your confidence, your joy, motivation, your overall trust in yourself, like how you look at yourself. Yeah, I would say every way.
Mm. When you was going through your journey of trying to trying to like learn more about yourself, do you think the comparison that you went through kind of delayed your own growth as a person or as a human being, or did it expedite it?
I would say once I actually got to a point where I knew I wanted to break free and really just be about myself and do it for myself, um, it was easy to just kind of make that actual separation. Um, yeah, I think it was easy.
Okay. Well, I think for me, when it came to emotionally being invested in comparing myself and like delaying your growth, I'm trying to think. Trying to think of a good time where it really delayed. It delayed what I was trying to do. It delayed me trying to reach like a point in life where I wanted to be like, I keep on. There was this kid in my on my college campus that was like smart as I don't know what, and I was going through a really tough time, and I was just like, dang, if only I could just have half of what his grade was,
Mhm.
I'd be. I'd be content, but like I had to get out of that because it delayed me from working harder, or working smarter and trying to actually do it. And I ended up actually passing the class, and he ended up having to retake it
Mm.
because it was just that switch. And once I got rid of that comparison between me and him, it kind of just made it did what it did. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, and that's another thing, because that's why I want to get into some like practical steps, because like we'll be saying the whole time, everybody shows the after effect, but they don't show the journey.
Mhm.
So I want to get a little practical with it. When you were on your journey, did you ever had to mute accounts, or like delete apps, or just take a break from like any like social media, or anything that would show you a comparison, or show you those trigger comparisons?
Yes. So what I actually did, I did a Esther fast. For those who don't know, Esther is a woman in the Bible. She fasted for 3 days um to protect her people. And essentially that's what I did. I fasted for 3 days and then I fasted for 3 days. I did not do any social media. I did not do any TV, listen to any music or anything like that. It was just me, and anytime that I felt the need to have some like source of like entertainment or something to like stimulate my mind, I would read my Bible, and I would specifically read the book of Esther to kind of understand why she was doing what she was doing, and then relate that to why I was doing what I'm doing, why I'm in this headspace, and what am I trying to accomplish out of this. Um, so yes, to answer your question, I did
That's
cut everything out.
And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that overall break. I feel like probably some people listening will probably be like, "Dang, I can't imagine 3 days of just nothing, just 3 days, 3 days of nothing." I'm sure
Mm,
that was
just
that.
me and Jesus.
I'm sure that was hard, but sometimes it takes that. It takes you
Mhm,
to block it out because then you get like used to like not doing. It. I think that's why a lot of older generations kind of don't have that problem because
mm,
it's always like the younger like the Gen Z people who just have that main part because we grew up on social media,
mm.
we grew up online, where other generations before us like they had to adapt to social media, but it wasn't like
It wasn't something that was
it
constant.
wasn't that was constant. It was something that was just new to them, and it still is probably new to a lot of people. And I think that would be a good tip for people that are going through that kind of that comparison struggle of being like, okay, I need to delete or get rid of get rid of anything entertainment because it's like some people can be like, well, I'm taking a break off social media, but you're still watching TV or you're
Right.
still watching Netflix. But just taking away for entertainment or anything in general who's going to feed you something other than what you are feeding yourself, then you need a complete break
It's
from the entertainment
a
system.
hard reset.
A hard reset.
And something that I will say from that experience is that you don't realize how loud the noise is until you actually cut everything out. Like, I just being there alone with my thoughts or just me sitting there journaling and, like, just hearing my own voice in my head and God coming to me in different ways and answering certain questions that I would have or I would be asking him or things that I prayed for way before I even done this, those questions getting answered. If I didn't cut out this time and space to actually allow for his voice to be heard, I wouldn't be where I'm sitting here today.
All right. Amen on that. Amen on that. But yeah, that's sometimes she like
You
I
have
said,
to cut it
you have to
out.
cut it out. You gotta cut it out. Social media too high, you need to cut it.
Uh,
But another practical step I want to ask you is like, how did you personally track your own progress? Because it's easy to like be like, I'm done with social media, especially if you got no phone. What are you using to track? You just pen and paper. Like, hey, I
mhm.
got through this day without. Like, were you able to like journey? Did you set milestones for yourself? Did you set up time just like check in with yourself when you were doing that, or was it just like it was just like I'm just living like Larry.
No. So I'm telling you, like, all of this happened in a matter of 3 days. When I cut everything else out and, like, cause I had made up my mind that this is what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
And so I researched what it all entails, what steps and stuff that I needed to take, and I already had a goal in mind. I already had a question in my head. I already prayed my prayer of what I wanted to accomplish through within this time period.
Right.
So the way that I tracked it is whenever I would pray and I would kind of pray. The way that I pray is more so like a conversation, if that makes sense.
No,
It's
that's
like
right.
I
That's
it's
right.
like I have a conversation, so it's like I'm asking questions, and I'm asking questions that ultimately somehow, some way end up getting answered. So as I'm asking these questions throughout these prayers, because mind you, this is I think 78 hours worth of just
Mhm.
nothing. So I'm sitting here just like
Just in there,
existing,
just
existing and
asking
asking these
questions.
questions, and as my mind is, like, rambling and rolling,
Right.
like, the answers to these questions are coming. So I'm writing down said questions, and as these answers are coming back, I'm going back to what I wrote down, and
And
I'm putting in the
and
answer to them.
mm,
So journaling, at that time, I was also doing a weight loss journey. So I think I had reached my halfway point. So my goal, I think it was at the halfway point. I wanted to lose roughly 60 pounds. At that point, I was getting close to my 30.
right,
So I knew if I'm not eating out for 3 days, like I'm probably
right.
I'm
Right, about to
like I'm about
lose
to
about to lose about a good 5,
So, I
7
was like, "Okay,"
pounds.
so at this point so it's like I timed it in a way, so it's just like not only am I doing this fast, but I've reached a milestone.
Right,
I've reached a halfway mark of where I want to be in my weight
right.
loss journey. Um, so that would be a milestone that I, would have had. And then after the actual fast and after reaching that milestone, I had an actual tracker to kinda track, um, my continuous weight loss journey, and then I would do monthly check-ins for myself. Like, I would do, like, a me day. Again, not so much so like me fasting and cutting everything out, but it was just like a solo date. It was me
Right.
doing whatever I wanted to do
Right.
and not really care. Like even cutting my best friends out and be like, okay, I need a me I need me day, I need me
Right.
time.
And yeah, you need to check in with yourself, and you can't have people around you because not only do you have social media noise, but you just have noise in general.
Hmm.
It can block out what you're trying to do. Um, it's and that's and one thing that I would say is a really good helpful tool is gratitude because it sounds very simple,
Hmm.
but it is very powerful. Like when you like I always pride myself before I go to bed and when I wake up it's like well not really much when I wake up because I give myself affirmations, but when I go to bed I really think about what I did today and think about three things that I'm actually really grateful for.
Hmm.
And well, I guess I'll probably say one of mine's today. Well, today I went to work, but I'm grateful that I woke up because
Hmm.
didn't have to. Praise the Lord.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm grateful that I have a job because a lot of people
Yep.
don't have that luxury. People take that as for granted.
They really do.
People take their job for granted. Be like, oh, I gotta be here. It's like for me, I'm like, that gives me something to do. Not only gives you something to do, but it gives it for me at least, it gives me the fulfillment that I did something today, that I
Yeah.
did something really productive, especially working in the healthcare field. Literally, I was talking about this yesterday. Like, it's called healthcare. You're supposed to care
Care.
about
What
other
you
people's health,
doing?
right? Not only about other people's health, but what are you doing? And for me, when I go to work, it's like I'm able to be locked in. I'm able to be in my zone on my computer, tracking audits, or as what I've been doing lately is creating a playbook for my department. So basically in the playbook it's like it's basically a how to do your job and kind of tell you a little bit more of what you're doing. So my department is called the value based care team, and basically I'm just like it's a VBC playbook. You just learn, you'll learn more about what you're doing versus no, you'll learn the why behind the how you're doing. And I think one of my main gratitudes is definitely of having a job, and I would definitely say something that I'm very grateful for today. More see, I usually do this when I'm going to bed. I gotta think. But the one thing I am definitely grateful today is that I was able to have, I think I was able, I'm grateful that I have the mindset that I have
Hmm.
because man, today sucked. It wasn't that it sucked, it was just, it was aggravating because I'm like I said, I'm not the best when it comes to coding. I'm not the best
Hmm.
when it comes to formatting. I'm not. I know basics. I know how to make sure stuff looks how it's supposed to, but I don't know the more specifics. Now I'm learning the specifics
Yeah.
and I'm like when I was making the actual document, it was just a lot of well press this format so you can do this, and I'm just like I kept breaking my own document, and it was just like it was infuriating, but I'm glad that I have the mindset to get stuff done because I ended up actually being able to take my time, get it done, have some R&B music. I literally said today I had some R&B music on that whole time, and I was just sitting there just working, and it was to the point that I'm actually about a good I'm almost done really. I'm just ready to make it look a little nicer in terms of the content needs to be like bolding certain areas.
Hmm.
I'd like to make it seem more popping, but I'm trying to make it kind of like a book, like kind of like a little manual book that you could print out if you wanted to, but it's mainly for online.
Hmm.
But I wanted to make it like kinda I wanted to fit like a textbook, and I wanted to make something like that because 'cause I've seen my because when I was at Xavier, I had 2 professors, Dr. Perez, and I believe Dr. was it Grant? Yeah, I think it's Dr. Perez and Dr. Grant. They both did they actually gave us our textbook for the class was their own textbook, and it was actually cool. And I was just like, dang, I want to make my own like little manual thing. But I was like, I never had anything to really do it to. But then once I got this, I was like, I could make the manual. I could make
Mhm.
a manual for this. And I was like, there's no, and literally when I asked my supervisor, I was like, there's no manual for this. There's no like instruction he gave me. He would give me like little quick, but I was like, is there anywhere where you can actually see this compiled? And he was like, no, I've been trying to work on it. Do you want to do it? I said, yeah, let me do it. So that's literally what I've been doing, learning on the job and putting what I've learned in there with a lot of help from him too. But it's just mainly a whole composition of what I've learned about my job. Yeah, kind of on a little tangent, but
Mhm.
but like I said, I'm very grateful because I have that mentality and I have my job and I'm able to wake up to
Mhm.
go to my job. So that's one thing I will say. Gratitude does a lot and it's very powerful. What do
I
you?
guess I gotta give 3.
Right, you got to give your three now.
I will say can't say I'm not grateful for waking up this morning because I would've said something else, but it's just like, yeah, now that you put it out there, it's like,
Right, it's like,
dang, so
dang, dang,
that's not the
dang.
optimal.
Right.
No, I am grateful for waking up this morning. I am I think this probably came from talking to my mom today and then talking to my grandpa a little bit. I'm grateful for my family dynamic. Like, I just don't know what life would look like, or I can't even fathom what it would look like without the family dynamic that I have. Like, I love my family deeply, and they show up for us in a way that is just unimaginable. So I'm very, very grateful for them. Um, and I need one more.
Mhm,
I am grateful for you because today is our 7-month anniversary.
mhm. And see, now you gotta tell them that now you gotta tell them that it's all like, "Oh, this ain't live? This ain't live on Friday? This
No, you're
ain't live?
fine.
This ain't live?" But yes, it is our anniversary, our little month anniversary, and so that's why we were recording we have some time to get this over with. But yes, see, now I'm gonna have to do 4 to keep it even. Now I'm gonna do 4 every
Why? That
night.
was
I know, but I'm saying for me, because you put me in there, I was like, I know she's gonna say me probably. I was like, I know you're gonna
oh,
say
well.
me. Because you didn't go to work today, so
I did
you
work. I
s
worked from home. I didn't go to the actual office, but I
you didn't
did work.
go
Oh my god.
you didn't go to work. I went to
Okay.
work. I'm just playing. But yeah, I think gratitude really is a good thing. And I think that's what helps me kind of while I'm at work to not compare myself to my colleagues. Like, and the thing is, it's not even like being disrespectful towards them because I always commend my colleagues because everybody's learning their own or everybody has their own skills, everybody's learning their own way when it comes to this tedious job that we have. But I think it helps me stay in my lane to not compare myself to other people because then that creates enviness and the other person might be looking at me like, dang, we never had no type of issue. What's your issue with me? And I'd be like, I'm just tired because you got this and I don't like. And I think that's like part of my dad and my mom coming into me because it's like now to the point like I don't care. It's like I don't care. Like I'm happy if somebody gets like a promotion or somebody gets a raise or I'm always happy for that type of stuff. But I'm not gonna be like, dang, must be nice. I'm trying to get. It's just I think it always stems from what's your mindset when you're ever doing something. It's not even just work or just doing something in general. It can be
Mhm.
you could be in sports, you could be anything. You just have that mindset to just be the best that you can be
Mhm.
versus then being better than somebody else. I think that's unless you're in the Olympics, I guess, because you have to have that mentality. But I think staying in your lane is probably the hardest thing to do because social media stop blocks that. Um, but my question is for you: what does staying in your lane looks like in real life to you?
For me, I just know just based off of what I've dealt with that other people haven't had to deal with what I've dealt with, so my path is different from everybody else's. So I'm able to make that division because we're not the same. We haven't had the same experiences.
You ain't built like that. I'm just like,
So I make that division easily simply because of that. Like we can have even to the point like siblings. We came from the same place. We have the same mom and dad.
Right,
We grew up in the same house. We went to the
right.
same schools. Had some of the same teachers, but we are still
Different.
different. Staying in your lane in real life is just owning and accepting the fact that you are an individual. Like you can travel the same roads as someone, but you're your own being and you have your own path.
Right. And I think a lot of people, when they're comparing themselves to other people, they end up forgetting, like, we're all human beings, and we all breathe the same. We all have the same blood, maybe different DNA, but we all got the same blood in our systems. And so we all walk the same. We're all going to die in general. And so it's like, you have to learn how to celebrate others.
Mhm.
That's what I was saying. Like, it's not even when I go to work, it's like, it's not even that I don't care if anybody gets that. It's like, if it, I'm not going to, I'm not gonna make that be my primal focus, because what I'm trying to do is complete what I gotta do. And if somebody does get that huge promotion or that huge thing, I'm always be like, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's awesome, dude. Get that. Like, uh, I'm trying to think of a time. Like, when I was in Men Xavier, there was a lot of people getting promoted. And like, even though I was leaving, I was like, dang, I wish I could have stayed here and did more. But it's like, I have to celebrate everybody else. I have to celebrate people who were being inducted into Men Xavier, and, celebrate them because they literally deserved it. And I think that mindset shift of celebrating others really helps you, realize that you're not losing because somebody else is winning. Now, unless you're in the Olympics, I guess that's how that mindset comes into. But for you, why do you think it's hard to celebrate others without feeling like you're falling behind?
I don't know how to answer that question because I don't I don't have that issue. I I don't have that issue. I'm a girl's girl, so I think that's what they call it. Like I love to see any and everybody win, especially something that people have shown a great effort into, a great interest, great desire to actually achieve. I'm all for celebrating, all for celebrating that accomplishment.
I think I mean that's what I mean. Granted of what you've been through,
Like life is easy.
it's like life is easier now
Right.
because you don't have to deal with that. And I think when it comes to comparison, I feel like there's a good way to compare yourself, but it becomes really toxic once you constantly keep doing it. If you just like
Mhm.
compare yourself and get motivated off of it, being like, this bro ended up working really hard. And I think that also goes into what people show how they
Mhm.
did it. It's like, this person worked very hard to get to this to to get to this point, and that would motivate me to be like, if that person can do it, then I can do it.
Mhm.
And when it comes to that, I would say comparison. If you're feeling like like comparison is like crosses your mind, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a always a bad thing,
No, it's not a bad thing.
because comparison is very normal, but it's just not always helpful. Because if you're listening to somebody in a deep conversation right now, it's like, why am I? Nobody's going to really be sitting there and be like, oh, let me compare myself to you. It's like, when it comes to your life, your journey is yours, your timing is yours, and literally your growth is yours. You're not behind, you're just on your own path.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people lose sight of that because people are always, like I said, the toxic part, especially some parts of social media, ends up making that toxicity come out of people to being like, why am I not here? You know? Um, but one thing I will tell people is that, when you're when you're in competition, you're really in competition. Is your only how do I want to say this? Your only competition, because I learned this from John Cena. Your only competition literally is the yesterday version of yourself. If you just stay in your own lane and stay in your own timing, you'll literally win your race of your journey.
I like
So
that.
that's basically something that I would implore on the people is to always compare yourself to what you did yesterday because you were
Yeah,
able to
compare
wake up
yourself to yourself.
because you were able to wake yourself. You was if you was able to wake up, then you can be able to think about, well, what did I do yesterday and how can I do better today?
Mhm,
That's how I would say. But I would like to thank you for joining me again on
mhm.
the third take. If you're tuning into the third take on this lovely Friday, well, the episode wise is lovely Friday. Um, but if you are, I would please implore you to. I gotta start doing it since we're on YouTube now, and since we're really, I guess we're like what 8 episodes
Yep.
in. So like and subscribe and check out all the other episodes. They're a little lengthier, but I hope you all have a great day and remember that life is just a journey and you gotta take it all one take at a time. This is the third take, and it's Sean Chapman. I'll see y'all all later. Peace.